Welcome to another episode of Dynamic Diecasters, where this week we're going to continue our Star Trek The Next Generation Enterprise build, with this one being stages 47 through 50. And when we come back, we'll go ahead and get started on stage 47. Welcome back. Like I said before, our fabulous intro. We're going to be working on stages 47 through 50 today. Again, with this build, it's a lot of putting together deck panels and assembling them to the saucers. So that's what I anticipate happening today. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started on stage 47. As is customary, I'll go through the parts and then we'll go ahead and start the build. So giving me a hard time getting this bag open today. And again, here they go with they put one plastic piece in this little section, and then another one in this top section. I don't know why they decided from a manufacturing standpoint to do that. I guess if I had a knife like other people use on here, it would simplify it, but I just use my fingers. So with that, the first part is deck panel U209. Then we've got 5 clear windows and 10 dark windows. Then we've got the warp engine field grill left reflector 3 and left reflector 4. Then we've got deck panel lights, which is like I said, with all the, if you've watched previous episodes, there's just a lot of these. And then we've got 2 clear stickers. Then we've got 6 BM screws and 4 EM screws. So with that being said, when we come back, I'll show you what we did in this stage. See you in 30 seconds. And that was it for stage 47. So basically we put together that deck panel that I showed you on the parts, and we added it onto the saucer right here. So we're coming even closer to having at least half the saucer completed, which is nice considering where we are at in the build. Oh, the other piece that we did was on the nacelle. The plastic piece, we added it right here in this part of the nacelle. So continuing the buildup of that, that's pretty much all we did. So now we'll move on to stage 48 and more of the same. It's going to be another deck panel build up, but I'm not sure what else besides that, because there's it looks like more installation for the nacelle, the other side of it at least, in addition to that. So we'll go through the parts and then we'll get started on it. So this one actually has reflectors as well, so I'm not sure if they're for this particular piece or not, but we'll find out in just a second. One thing I'll have to look for is, I know this is going to be battery operated the way the build actually comes from the factory, but it would be nice to have one that's like a plug-in variety or something, or maybe USB powered, because the way this thing is looking, it's going to take a lot of batteries just to run it, but we'll see. Anyway, from the first part is deck panel U108. Then we've got reflector panel U108A, and then U08A. So that means to me they would be on this panel. Then we've got 2 escape pod covers, 1 deck panel light. Then we've got 5 clear windows and 10 dark windows again, just like in the previous stage. Then we've got, it looks like 2 different parts, just like before. I don't remember what issue it was, but a warp engine filled grill right reflector 1 and right reflector 2. That'll go inside the nacelles. Like I said, I thought we would be doing that. And lastly, we've got 5 BM screws and 6 DM screws. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started on this, and I'll show you what we do when we come back. See you in another 30 seconds. And that was it for stage 48. So yeah, we did more deck assemblies. So we installed this one, well, we put together this one right here and installed it. And then we, from a previous stage, I think it was stage 36, we installed this piece right here. So now it's really starting to come together. We've got 2 more stages in today, so by the end of either the next episode or the one after that, we might have this full saucer completed. So that was one part of the stage. The other part, like I was saying before, was this reflector panel in the nacelle. So we had done these previously. We did this one in this stage. And in stage 49, it looks like we do what we did in stage 47 for the nacelle. With the other plastic piece that goes in the front, based on the pieces that are in here, plus another deck panel assembly. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started on stage 49. We'll go through the parts, and then we'll get to building. Again, this is a very tedious build. Today's isn't taking as long as they typically do, but this one, it's weird though, because there's a lot of, looking at the, oh, I'm looking at the wrong stage. I was wondering why it seemed to me like there were a lot of windows in this stage, but the deck panel didn't look like it had a lot of them, but I was looking at stage 48, so that's why I was mistaken on that one. There are pretty much nothing but windows on this panel. I'll kind of show you, but yeah, there's a lot in this one. So first being deck panel U319. So if you could see on the camera how many windows I get to put in, and there's also 5 escape hatches on the escape pod covers that I got to put in on this one. A lot of work going into this one, so this one might take a little bit longer. The next part is the reflector panel, U319A, that'll go on the back of this one. Then we've got, like I said, 5 escape pod covers. Then we've got 15 clear windows and 20 dark windows. So if you remember in the last couple stages, it was 5 clear and 10 dark. This one's double that. Then we've got deck panel lights, as you guys have become accustomed to seeing in every stage of these builds. Then we've got the warp engine grill, filled grill, right reflector 3 and 4. Like I said, when we did the left one, this is the right one. So it'll be the exact same thing we did in that one. And then the clear sticker again, the 2 clear stickers. And then lastly, we've got 2 BP screws. So we're not probably going to be installing in this stage because these BP screws are probably how we mount the reflector to the deck panel. So don't anticipate a deck install in this stage, but I might be wrong, but it doesn't seem like it with only 2 screws. But with that, we'll go ahead and get started on the build, and I'll show you what we did when we get back. See you in about 30 more seconds. And that's it for stage 49. Like I thought, we would only be in building up the deck panel. We didn't install this one. So here's the completed deck panel. And then I'll go ahead and show you, since we haven't plugged it into the saucer or anything yet, I'll show you that it lights up. So far in this build, every light has worked. And all the PCB boards actually work currently at this point, which is good. So I'll put that to the side for now. The other thing that we did, like I was saying before, was we installed that warp reflector in the other side. So now this whole section looks to be pretty much done. I'm assuming later we do the same thing, possibly with the top, or we may just fit the top on top of that at some point later. But with that, we'll go ahead and move on to stage 50. Again, we're doing another deck panel, there's also another warp engine part in here that we'll also be doing. I don't know if we'll be installing. Doesn't look like we'll be installing the panels in this stage either, because there's only 3 BP screws, which more than likely will be, well, we might install it. I don't know. There's only, depends, but we'll see. Normally when there's only 3 screws, we're only doing the reflector panel on the deck panel itself. So we'll see. But after this stage, that'll be the conclusion of this episode. So we'll go over these parts, and then I'll conclude this stage, or I'll build up this stage, and we'll conclude the episode after that. And then next couple episodes, I think a couple episodes down the line, we'll be starting one of our new builds. I think that it'll be, well, we'll be starting 2 builds actually, because we're in a holding pattern on the DeLorean and the Ecto 1. So we'll be starting the Knight Rider build, so the kit car, and then the Titanic from Agora Models. We'll be starting that one. But let's go over the parts. We got deck panel U320. Then we've got reflector panel U320A. Then we've got 5 clear windows and 5 dark windows, so not as many windows in this stage, which is a nice thing, since we've probably installed about 50 or 60 in this episode. And then lastly, we've got 6 escape pod covers. We've got warp engine, field grill, rear reflector 1, and then we've got rear reflector 2. Then lastly, we've got 3 BP screws. Oh, we've also got deck panel lights like we typically do. So we've got 3 BP screws, and with that, we'll go ahead and get started on this stage, and I'll show you what we did, and when we get back in about 30 seconds, and we'll conclude this episode. See you in a few. And that was it for stage 50. Actually, that one went really fast. Today's build actually went really quick, considering. So like I thought, we only had to install the deck panel stuff. We didn't put it on the saucer, so there's 2 pieces we have not installed yet. But with that, I'll go ahead and show you guys that it lights up as well. since I haven't installed it on the saucer yet. So there you go. They only had us put one bulb on. This one must go to a different saucer deck panel. But it does light up. So that's what we did in the stage. Oh, the other piece we did in stage 50 was we put this part in the front of the nacelle. So we assembled this piece and we installed it right here. So the nacelle's coming together even too. So with that, that's what we've done. We have those deck panels, and like I showed you guys before, we installed a bunch of deck panels and put them together. These right in here, and then these over here. So the next episode of Dynamic Diecasters will be the Star Wars build your own X-Wing build. After that, like I said in the previous stage, was that the plan after that, I don't think I have any Ghostbusters boxes left, so we'll be starting the Knight Rider build at that point. So after X-Wing, you'll see Knight Rider, and then I don't have any DeLorean boxes either, so we'll be starting the Titanic build at that point, and then you'll see another Star Trek build. I think I've got 2 more issues of that in the pipeline, so you'll see a couple more episodes of this build, and then you'll see quite a bit of the X-Wing because I've got the remaining boxes for that one. So if you guys enjoyed this, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel, and then hit that bell so you get notified when new episodes come out. The next episode actually will not be a Dynamic Diecasters. It'll be another unboxing day video. So that's what you guys will see next week. But for all of us at the Heart of Geek, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Dynamic Diecasters, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good night.